Hey, Conscious Collective, it's your girl, Miss Lisa here. I'm back. I know, I'm throwing them out like hotcakes. Now, when I was just speaking about the so-called Native Indians and their plight, what they're going through, and I was talking about our ancestors not being allowed to get the educational of history and not his story the way they were supposed to. So we ended up again being dumbed down as humans. You know what I'm saying? But the native the so-called Native Indians that were brought over here to reproduce and do all of these things. See, this is again, it goes to the fact of everybody is trying, every other culture out of are constantly trying to make sure that the melanated people don't get. I've seen white women crashing out about how hard they sorry, my daughter interrupted me real quick. But we were speaking about how these so-called Indians who own all their properties and casinos and shit, how they got it the way they got it, and we weren't even given a chance to have the decency to be given our own history of our own land. And the educational system was not built for us to learn anything about that. It was more so, it was hidden, and that's why we were also not allowed to learn how to read. We weren't allowed to understand. Because by this point, they haven't figured out the educational system for us. Let's just say that. Allegedly. They hadn't figured out the educational system for us natives that were already here before they fucking got here. And now they're coming up with ideas about what education should be for us. This is an author. His name is H.L. Mencken. Mencken. He was a controversial journalist. Okay, this man, I'm going to tell you, this is what the aim was for public education. In other words, to teach the melanated people, the natives of this land. The aim of public education is not to spread enlightenment at all. This is a quote. It is simply to reduce as many individuals as possible to the same safe level. He goes on to say, school days, I believe, are the unhappiest in the whole span of human existence. He knows it is. He goes on to say, the effort to educate the uneducatable is hopeless. That would be us he's considering. He goes on to say, education is itself a form of propaganda, a deliberate scheme to outfit the pupil, not with the capacity to weigh ideas, but with a simple appetite for gulping ideas ready-made. These ideas are already made, and now we're going to give them to you. Like I said, they had not gotten our educational system written down yet during slavery times. They hadn't made our educational system yet. Theirs were good. They were high-ranking. They owned everything, even fucking humans. Lands, animals, everything. Buildings, water. They owned every fucking thing, even though they weren't the first motherfuckers here. We were. Now, he goes on to say, a man who knows the subject thoroughly, a man so soaked in it that he eats it, sleeps it, and dreams it. This man can always teach it with success. This man ate, slept, shitted, showered this educational rendition in his head. This is one of our great authors. Oh, hold on. I'm going to give you another one. Now, this one is, what's his name? His name is Horace Mann. He says the need for educational reform, he believed that educational reform was a pressing necessity of democratic government. In other words, we need to make sure we got these fucking people thinking the way we want them to think so that we could, we came up with these words, democratic, democracy. They came up with this shit. And trust me, believe, if I go back far enough into ancient times, Hebraism, religion, all of this, if I go back far enough, Latin that has been recited into English, if I go back far enough, I guarantee you that these words, Democrat and Republican shit, don't mean what we doing. Okay, what it says. But again, these are our authors who are speaking on education. I spoke on education before, and it was so odd to me that people were coming, talking about the Native Indian shit that's going on. You should have read these books these motherfuckers came up with us. And I don't mean to be harsh. I don't mean to be mean. I don't mean to be, I am a very passionate person. I don't hate anybody. There are people that people hate for a lot of reasons. I don't hate anybody. I've been through some traumatic shit as a child. Being essayed, and I, growing into adulthood, knew where the man was, knew who he was, and he was the father of two of my siblings, and I could not find it in my heart to be that ugly. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't use my energy to bring myself down. I used my energy to lift others up. So when I say that, it's to say I am not being non-compassionate about your situation. It's just that you came over here under false pretenses. You should have done what we weren't allowed to do. You were actually allowed to come over here onto our land, in our country, and do everything that us natives couldn't do. And then we were giving an educational system that was built on literally displacing, keeping us below level, poor, uneducated in the mind, not learning about science, engineering, and things of this nature. No. We weren't allowed to find those things out, and you were, and yet you didn't get the information. Did they not tell you that this is what this is? So, again, when my human counterparts, these are human beings at the same time. But I owe no apology to you because we have been lied to the whole time. Our ancestors have been lied to over and over again, and they hid the truth. And that's why we are in this situation no longer, because we went and found it. And with that being said, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, gods and goddesses, stay conscious, stay collective. It's your girl, Miss Elisa. Peace in, boogers. Peace in.